All right, folks, we're here at Mullings Music and Memories. Had a great conversation over there at the radio show with Marc Lee. And of course, we had some amazing conversations about all kinds of things that were going on in the world, and hoping to have some other guests that will join us here at Mullings Music and Memories. We're going to see if they show up, but definitely had some great conversations going on around the things that are happening around the world over there at the radio show with Marc Lee. So definitely had the Amy Peck that talked about virtual reality, had the lady from the Children's Flight of Hope that was on that show, and had a number of other amazing guests as well, including LJ, who is all about positivity and sharing those thoughts of positivity and all of that. And we know that after what happened last week, we need those thoughts of positivity and better attitudes and all of that. So definitely going to bring y'all some news stories that are going on in the world and see what's happening in that regard. And also let y'all know that other things are going on. And of course, it is Mullings Music and Memory. So, you know, there'll be at least some music being incorporated in what's happening here on this show as well. So waiting to see whether one of my guests that I invited, who's going to talk about what they've got going on, will remember to show up and shed the light on what they're doing, because they're doing a number of great things as well. By the way, it looks like Triangle counties are entering phase 1B of the COVID-19 vaccine rollout as the case numbers are rising and all of that. So we are seeing things going on in that regards and things along that line. So definitely that's one of the things that are going on. And of course, we're seeing that folks are definitely paying attention to what happened last week, and that's leading to some folks doing some other things as well. So it does look like House Democrats are moving forward with impeachment proceedings and all of that. So I think there was some hope that Article 25 would be used and all of that, but it looks like House Democrats introduced an article of impeachment on earlier today against President Donald Trump after a pro-Trump mob stormed the Capitol last week in a riot that has left at least 5 people dead. And the article of impeachment for an incitement of insurrection was introduced by Democratic Representatives Ted Lieu of California, David Cicilline of Rhode Island, and Jamie Raskin of Maryland. The resolution, which has more than 200 co-sponsors, says that Trump has demonstrated that he will remain a threat to national security, democracy, and the Constitution if allowed to remain in office, and has acted in a manner grossly incompatible with self-governance and the rule of law. President Trump thus warrants impeachment and trial, removal from office, and disqualification to hold and enjoy any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States, the resolution states. At least one Republican House member is expected to join the Democrats' effort, with Representative Adam Kinzinger of Illinois supporting Trump's removal from office. The earliest the House can vote on an article of impeachment is Wednesday, and it's unclear when the House would send the articles to the Senate for a trial. Gubernatorial Senators Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania have called on Trump to resign. I do think the president committed impeachable offenses, Toomey told Fox News. In 2020, Trump became just the third president to be impeached before he was acquitted by the U.S. Senate. No president has been impeached twice. The resolution came as more lawmakers call on Vice President Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment and remove Trump from office. The amendment allows the vice president and cabinet members to declare a president unable to perform the duties of office, thereby stripping the president of power. The New York Times reported that Pence doesn't support invoking the amendment, which requires the support of a majority of cabinet officials. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said in a letter Sunday night that if Pence refuses to invoke the amendment, Democrats will move forward with removing Trump from office with just 9 days left in his term. In protecting our Constitution and our democracy, we will act with urgency because this president represents an immediate threat to both, Pelosi said in the letter. On Monday, House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer, a Maryland Democrat, will introduce a resolution prepared by Raskin that calls on Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment, according to Pelosi. We are calling on the vice president to respond within 24 hours, Pelosi said. Next, we will proceed with bringing impeachment legislation to the floor. Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar, also a Democrat, was also planning to introduce 2 articles of impeachment against Trump on Monday. The articles include abuse of power for attempting to overturn the election results in Georgia and incitement of violence for orchestrating an attempted coup against our country, Omar wrote on Twitter on Sunday. In a phone call released by the Washington Post last week, Trump pressured Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to find 11,780 votes needed to overturn President-elect Joe Biden's victory in the state. Trump has made baseless allegations of widespread voter fraud and challenged the results of the election for months. He spoke at a rally of his supporters on the National Mall as Congress convened to certify the Electoral College vote and cement Biden's win. Pence officially affirmed Biden's win early Thursday following a vote in Congress after the riots that happened. So that's some of the things that are going on in the sense of our political landscape and all of that. So a number of things are going on in that regard. And of course, we're trying to keep you informed as we learn more and more about what is happening and all of that. So definitely I'll be bringing you some more newsworthy kind of things. By the way, I was catching some of the football games. They were some amazing games on a lighter note. So I definitely saw that Cleveland in a high scoring game just put it to Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh, which I think might have been a favorite by some people, has been eliminated and all of that. So that is one of the teams that went out. I do know that my good friend Dean Geronimo will be glad that his team, the Baltimore Ravens, have made it to the next round. And I'm sure that this evening at 7:00, I'll be talking to him about that during our conversation on Straight Talk with Dean and Marc. But they've got to run up against a very difficult team because they've got to play the Buffalo Bills, which is Bill Tresvant's team. Who's another friend of ours and all of that. So that's going to be a very classic game. And then on the other side, we've got Kansas City playing Cleveland, and Cleveland looked very impressive as well. So Cleveland just demolished Pittsburgh and jumped out with a 28-point lead early in the game and all of that. So it'll be Kansas City against Cleveland. And then on the other side, we've got Green Bay. We've got the classic gentlemen of the 40s playing. So that'll be Drew Brees and Tom Brady as Tampa Bay will go against New Orleans. And then on the other side, it'll be the LA Rams against the Green Bay Packers. So definitely should be some good games on the next weekend, just like there were this past weekend. I was hoping that my Marquette team was going to get a chance to get some revenge after letting a large lead slip away from them and play against a top-ranked team. We're going to go up against Villanova. But unfortunately, Villanova had an incident with the coronavirus, and that game has been postponed or doing some sort of rescheduling of some sort or another. But we did not have the game this weekend, so we have to wait till tomorrow when we take on Providence, and hopefully we can slip back into the positive category in terms of wins, because right now we're 6-6, which is an even 500. I would not like us to fall below 500, but we've been having an up and down year. We've had some amazing victories. There's also some losses that just had you shaking your head and all of that. But that's what's going on in that sense of the team that I root for in the sense of basketball. So we're interested to see how that all plays out and along those lines. Like I said, I'm going to bring you a little bit of music. I'm also going to check and see about my guests and if they're going to be making an appearance, because I am expecting a young lady to come in and talk about what they've got going on and all of that. So I'm going to give y'all a taste of some great music and then come back with some news items as well. But, you know, we always love hearing our blues music when we get an opportunity to. So I'm going to give y'all a dose of the blues and give y'all a little bit of, I gave y'all Albert King last time, gave y'all a little bit of Buddy Guy. I think I'm going to actually go with somebody that I know and all of that, and give y'all a dose of my good friend Bobby Hinton and his music and all of that. So give y'all a little taste of what Bobby Hinton is all about. And he is a local blues artist here in this area. So I'll give y'all a little taste of Bobby and his sounds and all of that. He's been a true legend of the blues and always does some great music that folks thoroughly enjoy and that they can have a good time with and all of that. So that being said, I'm going to give y'all a little dose of what Bobby's all about. I think we're going to play one that he's got called Bounce Your Butt. And then I might even give y'all a little taste of some of his other sounds as well. So he's also got one called Slow Your Roll. And, of course, he's got his version of members only. So I'm not sure how much of the music I'll give you on Mullings music and memories, but it is all about the Mullings, the music and the memories. So I do like to have at least some music incorporated into what we're doing here. So that being said, I'm going to give y'all a little dose of Bobby Hinton, a local blues artist here in our area. And I think that y'all will definitely enjoy what his sounds are all about and all of that. So I'm going to give y'all a little dose of Bobby Hinton and his sound, and then come back. And also I'm going to check with my potential guests and see if they are available, if they're going to make an appearance here with us or not. But I'm definitely looking forward to some great conversation with Sarah Hill, who I think is scheduled for this afternoon, and all of that. But right now, let's check out what Bobby's got going on with this song entitled Bounce Your Butt. So like I said, that's the title of this particular song, and we're getting ready to give y'all a dose of what Bobby's all about.
Get down, bounce your butt, bounce everybody, get down, bounce your butt, bounce everybody, get down, bounce your butt, get on the floor and do your thing, girl. Everybody come on, get out here on the floor, bounce your butt. The floor was crowded, hard on place to dance. Everyone on the floor doing that brand new dance. Get down, bounce your butt. Let me see you do it now. Get down. Let me see you when you bounce that, bounce your butt. Get down. Let me see you bounce your butt. Bounce your butt. Get down. Bounce your butt. I never have seen anything like this. And this everyone on the floor doing this brand new dance. Watch that. Bounce it to the left. Oh yeah. Work it to the right. Do it, girl. Working to the right, round and around. Working it to the ground. Everybody, here we go. LA, bounce your butt. To the north now. Here we go. New York, bounce your butt. To the south now. Here we go. Miami, bounce your butt. To the west now. Here we go. Everybody bounce your butt. Ladies, work that coochie, rock that coochie, work it to the ground. Move that body, bounce your butt to the right. Shake that body, pop that coochie, work it all around. Ladies, slide it to the left. Come on now. Slide it to the right. Work it. Work it around and around. Work it up and down. Ain't it looking good? Get real when you do that work and work it to the ground. Everybody, get down. Bounce your butt, bounce your butt now. Get down. Bounce your butt, bounce your butt. Here we go. Cincinnati, bounce your butt. Here we go. You got it. Bounce your butt. Here we go. All over. Bounce your butt. Here we go. Everybody bounce your butt. Get down. 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 Bounce your butt. Work that coochie, pop that coochie, work it to the ground. You know it. Shake that coochie, pop that coochie, work it all around. I can feel it. Get down. Bounce your butt. Get down. Bounce your butt. Here we go. Come on. Shot down. Bounce your butt. Here we go. Get down. Seattle. Bounce your butt. Here we go. Oh yeah. Baton Rouge. Bounce your butt. I feel like here we go. Phoenix. Bounce your butt.
All right, that was a little bit of Bobby Hinton and what Bobby Hinton is all about. So definitely, I think folks were definitely enjoying that sound and all of that. So I think we're just going to continue with a little bit more of Bobby's sound. Like I said, he is a good friend of mine and everything. So we're just going to keep things rolling right along and let y'all hear a little bit of his song entitled "You're My All and All." So definitely, I think that y'all are in for a definite treat with a little bit of "You're My All and All," which is also, like I said, by Bobby Hinton and what he's all about. He's definitely some great sounds that I think that y'all will thoroughly enjoy and all of that. So definitely keep that in mind that Bobby Hinton is a truly amazing local artist. And I'm looking forward to having some great conversations. As a matter of fact, I need to have some conversations with some other great blues legends as well. There are a number of them here in this area. We've been fortunate enough to have some great ones here in our area that are just truly amazing and all of that. So definitely just keep that in mind that we've got some great sounds from some great artists, and definitely looking forward to y'all checking out what they are all about and everything along that line. So definitely about to give y'all a taste of "You're My All in All," which is another classic Bobby Hinton song and all of that. So definitely y'all to sit tight. We're going to sit back and listen to a little bit more of Bobby Hinton and "You're My All and All." So definitely I think that y'all will enjoy these sounds on Mullings Music and Memories. So let's check out what "You're My All in All" is about as well.
Baby, you make me feel so good. Come on, come here. Let me rub your body. Oh, what a body, what a body. I want you to relax and just let me take control. Because I want you to understand that you're my all in all. Tonight I want to take you to the moon. Yes, darling. Is this what you want? Tell me how you want and what you want. Baby, you're my all in all. Everything I have is yours. Just take me tonight, use me. Please, just take me. Land me beside you is like being in heaven. I never thought love could be this way. I never thought passion would be so passionate. I don't want to stop. Don't ever make me stop. I just want to keep right on making love. Don't turn the lights on, baby. Just leave them low. I want to see your reflection. That's all, baby. I just want to see your reflection. See the shadow of your body against the wall and just see how precious you are. Now, come back to me, baby. Come back to bed. Are you ready? Relax. Baby, baby. I feel so good just being here with you. Oh, baby, don't stop, baby. Let's keep doing what you're doing. You're driving me completely out of my mind. Baby, do you realize that you're everything I ever imagined you would be? I've dreamed about this holding you, making love to you, having you sharing your love tonight. This is exactly what I'm doing. So baby, just let it go. Take me to the moon. Take me to the stars. I want you to capture me. Oh, love. baby. Oh, baby. Keep on doing what you're doing, girl. You're a woman among everything. I've never had anyone to do this to me, what you're doing to me. Don't stop. Listen, hold me, baby. Hold me, baby. Don't stop. Yes, smooth on. Let's together. You see this ecstasy. Yeah. You got me where I'm just about speechless. But all I can say is you, baby, mine, all in all, everything that I thought you would be. You're just more, baby. Don't go away. Keep doing it, what you're doing. Don't stop. Mercy. Work it, baby. Work it, baby. Ah, baby. That's it.
Just a little bit of the music of Bobby Hinton. Might put on a little bit more later on as well. But of course, there are a number of things that are happening around the world that I thought I'd share with y'all also. So there are a number of things that are happening in the world of the news. Of course, we did mention what's going on in the reference to the impeachment proceedings or the 25th Amendment or a number of other things that folks are looking at and considering and all along those lines. So definitely we've got a number of things that are going on in our conversations of what's happening in the world and all of that. As a matter of fact, there's even an article that I'm seeing about Crocs. So that's right, that popular shoe that existed and all of that. So let's see what they've got to say about Crocs and what Crocs are doing and all of that. And there's also a question as to whether Silicon Valley is doomed or not. So it'll be interesting to find out if they say that Silicon Valley is doomed or not. So we're going to find out if Silicon Valley is doomed or if it's got some other things going on in that regard. But I do see that I've got one of my guests that has made an appearance. So looking forward to having a conversation with the gentleman that has joined us and all. So going to bring that conversation into forefront and all of that. So get ready to remove this part of what we've got going on. And there we go. And bring in Mr. Royce. So we've got all kinds of things happening in the world, and glad to bring in the Royce and see what's happening in his world. So definitely as move on into the course of our conversations, we'll have a good conversation with a number of folks and all of that. So definitely hold on, bring in Mr. Royce. How you doing, Royce? You got yourself on mute. You got to take yourself off of mute. So I think you got yourself on mute.
That's correct. Thank you. Hello. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit laggy right now.
That's okay. That's no problem. Like I said, we were having conversations. I was playing a little bit of music and getting things going and everything, but always find ways to get things going and all of that. Glad that you were able to join me and talk about the different things you've got going on. And I know you've got all kinds of amazing things happening in your world. So definitely share with the international broadcast media family some of the things that you've got going on in your world and just how you're dealing with the world that we're living in. It's a mad world that we're living in with the pandemic and with a number of other things that are happening in the world. But I'd love to hear your thoughts about what's going on and what you're doing. I know that you're involved in the music field as well as a number of other things. So I guess we'll just start off with you telling a little bit about yourself and what you've got going on.
Hello, folks. I'm Royce. I go by. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit nervous right now. Don't
be nervous. No need to be nervous at all.
Well, so my name is Carol Mitchell. I'm the CEO and founder of 2XR Productions Digital Media. Uh, 25. I'm a youngster, so that's kind of cool. But I'm
Oh, yeah.
sorry, I'm kind of. But I work in the audio and digital media field, and I create instrumental beats and music that goes behind trending artists nowadays. So that's a cool thing to do whenever you're a youngster, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a real cool thing to do when you're a youngster and everything. Has you always been involved
Yeah,
in the music
it's
field, or is this something that came into
well,
your life
not.
later?
This is actually a 2 year thing already, so it's a really. I'm very new to it all, and it's kind of a scary industry, really, whenever you're working with some of the people. So I don't know. What I really wanted to come on here and talk about was really who I am and what I do.
Yes.
So I'm not. I don't. I'm not a musician. I'm actually an influencer. And like y'all were talking about earlier, y'all were talking about promoting positive vibes. And I believe in the exact same fight, the exact same goals as y'all. That is the campaign to go for. So what I want to talk about is another person, really, and his name is Charlie Rocket.
Okay.
If y'all have some time to look him up, you'll find that he has a very, very, very good uh say podcast about keeping positivity in your life. Uh in one of them he talked about creating your own superhero. And this is a good way to find yourself, get yourself out of something. So if y'all would go and check it out, I'm gonna go ahead and share some comments on this after
Oh, yeah, definitely.
to give y'all that information for that stuff. And I
Cool.
think everyone would really like that and enjoy getting to know this guy. He's very influential in music, and he's actually an Iron Man. He's
No.
in that big triathlon race, so
Okay.
you ought to
Wow.
check him out. But
Yeah, definitely.
I
I'll
have
definitely
a
have to
whole
check.
list, a whole board full of things I want to talk about,
Yeah, cool.
and it ranges from music to business and to well, some of the brands that I actually like to work with. So
Cool.
first off, I'm sorry,
No, go ahead. I'm listening
cutting
to you.
off a little bit, right?
Yeah, you're cutting up a little bit, but I can still
First
hear you.
off, I want to share some of my friends. So I'm working with this group that does game development,
Hmm.
and they plan to make. And I can't talk too much about it, but I just want to share them because they're going to make a very big impact in the educational field with children.
Oh,
So
wow.
what y'all were talking about before this was
Right.
actually a really cool subject because it fits in with me perfectly.
Cool.
So I'm glad I'm here right now.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, it's called Sonic, like SONICAL
Uh-huh.
.ly, Sonically.
Sonically. Okay.
It's ran by yes, y'all should check that out. It's it's going to be a pretty cool project. So I've been working with them and giving them ideas. Um, I also want to shout out a friend, Max Season. He's
Hmm.
another producer friend of mine, and he's actually one of the few who actually shaped my career. So thank you. What else do I got?
Yeah.
You can find them on Instagram, YouTube, Airbit, Discord. All
Oh,
right.
He's on
Do you have
Discord
any
too.
questions?
Yeah, well, just a couple of things.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
yeah. So, like I said,
Well, I'm sorry.
definitely you said that you started. So, when did you first get involved in music? Were you a kid when you first got into music, or were you
Okay.
like,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
I was sorry about that. I got off topic.
yeah? I'd love to know a little bit about your history and
I've okay. I've only been doing music for 2 years seriously. Uh, but I've been taught and I am being led by some of the professionals in the industry. So it's really cool the power of connection.
oh yeah, that's very
Yes,
important.
sir.
That power connection is always
I'm
vital.
yes, sir. I'm actually from Texas.
Okay,
So I'm in the middle of the United States right now. Like it was hard for me to get here because of the time difference.
right. I understand. No, yeah, like I
Yeah,
said, you're about what time is it now? It's 2:30
it
there now.
is. It's 3:30.
3:30, right? So
Yes,
it's
sir.
3:30 there where you are in Texas, and it's 4:30 here and everything. But and how are you just devoting yourself strictly to the music in terms of career, or do you, like so many people during this pandemic, have a day job? Because I know one of my friends drives
Right,
DoorDash, and I got another friend that actually does funk
right,
music,
right.
and he actually drives Uber. So I've got friends that are trying to survive any way they can. So are you just strictly
Yes, sir.
devoting yourself to the music, or are you trying to do other things to survive in these crazy times we're living in?
Well, because of the situation, I am unemployed. I consider myself a freelancer. Uh, I do audio work for anyone who needs it. Any budget, I do it for free. I love music that much that I put myself into it where I am going to go and get that career that I want. I believe that I'm on the right path for music, but I've been thinking lately, and I believe that I would be a very good artist management, uh, someone who does artists management and development. Uh, so I think I'm going to switch my goals and my tactics now, actually.
Okay, cool. And you said you
Yes, sir.
so have you managed any performers so far there in Texas, or are you still working on managing any?
Well,
And
well, right now, what I'm really trying to do is just build connections, trying to find people who do the same thing and trying to get into those different circles.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And who are some of the folks that you have had the pleasure
Yes,
of
sir.
connecting with so far?
Well, I actually, she's a good friend. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of her. I'm sure y'all have actually. Her name is Riley Reed.
Okay, I've heard that name.
She's actually a model, a beautiful one. So, yeah, she's one of the ones that I have a chance to do little jobs for. So,
You've had a chance to do some stuff with her and everything. And
well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm cutting. Well, other artists like I have a friend, and his brand name would be 2 Day Percents. He's a very great. He's a talented songwriter, and you can find him on TikTok. Actually, he's devoted himself strictly to TikTok. So y'all should go check that out. I'll share some links after this.
Yeah, please do share some links so that folks can learn
Okay.
about some of your
Yeah.
friends and all of that and
Yeah.
everything. And are most
Definitely.
of the folks that you've been working with there in the in the Texas area, or are they throughout the country? And are you open to doing work with people from throughout the country?
Well, you know what? This is a global thing.
Right.
Audio can be transferred over the internet, and the internet has made the industry so more competitive than it used to be. It used to be where just the major labels were the ones making beat sales or
Right.
putting music in placements, and the internet and through what you're doing right now, live
Right.
streaming and being a global thing, has really made it easier for artists like me, who are they just showed up out of nowhere with a talent, you know. So it's actually a gift. What it is. But one thing that I wanted to say was the important part about connecting and expressing feelings and understanding each other.
Right.
Throughout all of this, we are different, completely different.
Right.
I don't have very good streaming abilities, but you are great at it. I can make good music and keep your audio tuned, you know, but I can't do the streaming part. So it's good that we connect. We
Oh yeah.
can do great things together, and I think that's why I'm here today, is because there are people who really just need help in life, and I need help right now.
I
And
got you.
so this is really cool.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
definitely. Yeah, definitely. That's what it's all about, is connecting people and making sure that folks have an understanding and all that. You earlier mentioned about the music industry, and I've actually got friends that have been in various
yes.
aspects of the music industry, but I was just wondering your thoughts about the music industry and the way it's going. Because I know a lot of friends of mine complained that they felt that there was too many, like, corporations that were running things musically, and that there wasn't enough of the small man getting their opportunities. So I would love to hear your thoughts as to whether you feel that there's too many of
Yes.
the clear channels and the live nations, and not enough of the smaller kind of labels out there, and what kind of experiences you've been having as you've been trying to get into music.
Okay, yeah, yes, sir. I actually am an independent artist.
Mm-hmm.
So being an independent artist gives you a lot of freedoms, but it also makes it hard. Getting a record label deal is a good thing, but it can also be a very harsh thing if you don't do it right or
Right.
legally. So one thing for artists to know is to be careful who you're signing with. You got to know these people before you do it. They can really hurt you out there. So make sure that you're reading over and having an attorney and all of your legal stuff done before you do that. Yeah, about the big labels being a limiting factor. They do limit people like me. They have made it hard for me to get out there to y'all. And that's not just the labels, that's the social media too. Recently there was a privacy act that was
Right.
released, and it's a good thing, don't get me wrong. It stops crime. It stops people from being stolen from.
Right.
You can name all of the instances, but it also makes us less connected, which was something that we thrived on for a while. So I have a lot of thoughts about, and I don't want to go into theory, but I think that not letting or that that they should make it. I'm sorry, I'm lost my
No,
train of thought.
no,
But
you were talking about the industry and everything, so you were on a roll. So I don't think you
yes,
lost your.
right. But I get off topic on other topics sometimes. Anyways, yeah, the industry is a very hard place to work in, but it just takes someone to put their practice into it. That's all it is. You can only get better at everything you do. And as you progress, which is my business, you will find that there are a lot of rewards and a lot of lessons that you'll obtain through these struggles, like thinking that these major labels are limiting you is something that you put in your own mind and caused. you can't limit yourself like that, people. Charlie Rocket will tell you that you have to be a delusional optimist.
Mm.
You have to think things into reality, and it works. And I put everything he said into my life, and now I know I'm going to go get a platinum record. I'm going to get an album behind me someday, platinum, because I know that it's happened. Time just hasn't caught up. And that's what
Gotcha.
I believe. That sounds crazy, right?
No,
You have to
no.
work for everything, yes. But what you think and what you say determines what you will get. It's called spelling for a reason, because you're casting spells on your life when you talk.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense and everything. Who are some of the
That
other
makes
folks?
sense, right?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Who are some of the other folks that have
Okay.
influenced you and everything? Because I know you said Charlie is the
Well,
one that influenced you. Who are some of the musicians that have influenced
Charlie,
you?
I like Symbolic One. There's 37 miles 37 miles per hour. Who else? Let's see, J. Cole,
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar, Kid Cudi. You know, I like all the old school stuff. I'm like a 50 Cent fan, honestly.
So you're a 50 Cent fan?
But on the other side of the music, business behind music, business finance, and the hardest part is having a budget. The budget part actors and artists, because they limit themselves thinking that money is the only way to go and get recorded, whenever you could just do that through your phone.
Right.
You know, I prefer using a laptop because you get a better streaming. But like, if I was to help anyone know what they were supposed to have, it would be right now. So what you need is a laptop. Like so, let's see if I can switch this around or something. Does it allow you to do that? You need a laptop.
Right.
Um,
Yep, you got your
you
laptop. I
need
see the laptop.
your Oh man, I'm going crazy. You need to have an audio interface. See, I work out of my home. I actually saw there was a show that, and I hope this is okay that I'm going into this room right
Yeah.
now.
Let me see.
I'm just grabbing some equipment out of my studio real quick.
Okay. And you said it's a home studio
Sorry
that you've
about
got.
that.
So how much equipment do you have in your home
Yeah.
studio, and how many tracks can you record in your home studio?
Well, I do about one a day,
Okay.
probably, and I don't do a lot of recording. I'm from a small town, so there's not very much opportunity with that if someone wants to travel. And because of the situation right now with the whole COVID, I'm kind of working on staying away from people and social
Right.
distancing. Uh, so working from home is something I've always wanted to do. I wouldn't consider myself lazy, but I would consider myself more away, or not, as a introvert.
Gotcha. So you consider yourself more of an
Equipment
introvert.
you'll want
Yep. Now, what kind of equipment are you looking for?
a social person.
Yeah, what kind of equipment are you looking for that you don't have yet? Because I know everybody's got their wish list of things that they wish they had. Well, first off, what do you have already? And if somebody was watching, there was like an investor type, what would be your wish list of equipment that you would like to have?
Okay. Yeah. So I actually use a lot of Behringer products. This is a German brand. And there's people who, everyone has an opinion, but I found that they are a very good brand. And I've actually got an interface.
Mm-hmm.
You'll need an interface, which is like where you would plug into your headphones into that, and then that into the computer to hear your audio. And then you'll want a set of monitor speakers, which I didn't want to pull out. You're not supposed to remove them from the studio once you get them set in.
Right.
It could hurt them. And a good keyboard. I use Arturia. I'm actually working on getting a synthesizer right now, so that's my next purchase. This is called a MIDI controller.
Uh-huh.
I wish I had it all plugged in and in a very lit environment, but
Right.
my studio's a little bit messy right now, so I didn't want to be in there today.
Yeah, I got you. So how many hours a day would you say that you record?
I put in, well, you're not supposed to do it more too long, because the most valuable tool in this industry is your ears.
Right.
I put in about 4 hours a day, just to make the music behind vocals, and that's what I'm focusing on mostly right now, is instrumental beats and loops.
Gotcha. Now, do you consider yourself? Are there any kind of mixologists or DJs that you really admire with their loop work? I know that here in Durham, where I'm at, we've got Ninth Wonder and we've got some other folks that are like that. But are there any folks that you really admire their mixing work?
Yeah. I've always wanted to work, and these are the people who really got me into music, with a brand called Legion Beats. They were a group of people who they make beats with hooks on them. And at first I was a songwriter, so I was writing songs and performing them. But I'm a white boy, and in a rap song, sometimes they don't sound good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the truth. Like, I can't really do singing very well. So I was like, but I still love music. I still put so much into it. And then I had to find out what I really wanted to do in this situation.
Gotcha.
So, the most valuable thing is to figure out yourself. Figure out what you really want to do in life, and you can do it. There are no limitations. You could come from a very poor background, like I did, and have a mother who lived off of food stamps. You know, and you can go out there and become the next big thing and create innovative inventions and software, and just by thinking. So I want to just make sure that our youth knows that they can still do that, and that they are not limited anymore. Like, one thing that's going on right now is Bitcoins. Man, Bitcoins just lost a lot of people money. There's a lot of people who lost money on Bitcoins last night, overnight, millions of dollars.
Wow.
So,
I'm a
cryptocurrency trader.
Yeah. Okay. And I read in one of your things that you were talking about how Bitcoins was having some sort of influence on the music industry. And I don't know what you were saying about that, but I know that you mentioned something about Bitcoins and the music industry. So you want to talk a little bit about what they're doing in your mind with the music
Yes,
industry.
yes, sir. Bitcoins are a very great investment if you have some sort of idea how the stock market works.
Right.
The only thing about it is that whenever you're trading, you have to trade just like using alcohol. You have to trade responsibly. So
Right.
don't go out there, there are a lot of people who they don't understand figures. Like I even drew a little sketch and it's going to be backwards for y'all, but like today this is like what I made using the stock market today. This was my
Right.
gains. I don't know if y'all can see the numbers very
Yeah.
well, but
Uh-huh.
I probably made, I can't say any figures, but like this was at 2:05 right before the market closed, and I went up 5% today. The only thing is I don't have very big budget. If I had a budget, I could have made a lot of money today.
Gotcha.
A lot of money. And it's really just like, that's something I just do for a hobby. That's something other people do as a job every day.
Oh yeah. Now was
You
your
can
mom?
do whatever you want.
Oh yeah, that's very true. Now was your mom really encouraging you in the sense of encouraging your music and your other folks,
Well,
or they not back you in your music career?
that's something that has actually motivated my career, is the way people have really doubted me in music. Whenever, it took time. It takes time to get good at something, very
Right.
good at something. And it takes multiple repetition. You have to keep
Right.
on progressing. And that's what I do. It's progression, drum progression, chord progression. And we get better as we go. And for the longest time, it was really hard to make music because of the fact that people really doubted me. They doubted how I would be in the end, because of the fact that I couldn't provide due to a job. It was a limiting factor. And that's one
Gotcha.
thing that really hurts about. So if you have people who are in your family or your friends, encourage their music, invest into their music.
Oh yeah.
It'll bring a positive thought into their mind, and they'll make a better piece. It's getting that extra determination from
Oh
other
yeah.
people that really. I was lucky enough to have a mother who did kind of support my music. She helped me buy some of my equipment whenever I first started. So yeah, definitely invest in artists.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
That's the next thing
Now,
that
Did you study
does.
music in school?
Well, actually, I studied environmental science.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I was trying to work in the oil field at the time because that's real big around where I'm from.
Right.
And so I studied at the University of, I'm sorry, West Texas AMU in Canyon. It'd be WTAMU in Canyon, Texas. And yeah,
Gotcha.
I have some college.
Gotcha. But
Yes, sir.
nothing in high school and in college, no music background though. So you didn't take any music
No,
courses.
well,
It's all self
I
taught, or did?
was I yes, sir. Well, I have a bunch. Like I said earlier, I have my connections because I reached out. I have been taught by the best, actually, in the industry. So it's really cool how far you can go without an education. Uh, although I do have an education, I just don't have that extra one that makes me any better.
Gotcha.
One thing I will say though is that school don't limit an employee by their schooling, what it says,
Right.
because people are lying out there.
Hmm.
You know, and then like there's also the fact that the, the same person who created the first school
Right.
never went to school.
Hmm.
It, you know what I mean? So they limited people. How did they know that their answers were right?
Right. Good point. So, I was going to ask you. Oh, so yeah, so definitely didn't have that kind of background and everything. Who were some of the
No.
musical people that you have worked with over there in Texas that really inspired you musically? So, are there other studios that are there in Texas or nearby states that you spend a lot of time getting trained with, or did you just learn all the equipment yourself?
Well, this the equipment and the software, that was kind of just something I learned myself. Like,
Okay.
but the structure and the artist development and how to continue on and get to that point of having a verification in any
Mhm.
form, uh, that was all learned from other people, and other people. Like, the power of connection is great. Like I said 100 times already.
Right.
Uh, but as far as learning how to do your skill, it takes your own blood, sweat, and tears.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, you just have to put your all into it. If you love something, go and get it. And
Yeah.
I just gave myself advice right there. You
Yep.
know,
That's good.
I'm a helpless romantic, and there's this girl that I'm going to actually drive. I'm going to go and knock on her door now because I said that.
Okay, that sounds like a good advice.
Yeah,
You're gonna go knock
yeah.
on the door and everything. So not gonna get in your way of doing that. So I'm gonna let you head on out. But before you head on out, I always love hearing from my folks
Sorry.
any words of advice that they want to give and everything. So I know you've been sharing a little bit about your music career and what you want to do musically. But if there's any words of advice that you want to share with our audience, our global audience, we'd love to hear your words of advice that
Okay.
you'd like to share, or any words of positivity. I always give people a chance to give their message of positivity.
All right. Okay. So first off, I want to share a book with y'all because I
Uh-huh.
saw that you did this in one of your episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm not a very good guest. I'm not good at
No,
this
you're
yet.
doing good. You're doing good.
I don't feel like I am, but it's called Traffic Secrets.
Mm,
And Traffic Secrets, which it's a part of a 3-book series. Uh, this goes over how to get people, and I'm not saying buy their products, but I'm saying this goes over how to accurately bring people into these kind of live streams and into your brands,
okay.
like YouTube, or and it will really help that getting people funneled into your product.
Mm,
I I support recreational use of cannabis, actually.
mm-hmm.
So that's cool that you were talking to people like that already.
Oh, we have a whole show on
And
that. We've got a guy, Jeff Eachin. He does
really,
a show called Weed Wednesday. So we have a guy that does a show about actually
right.
getting people out of prison, because he finds that a number of those folks are in prisons for long sentences that basically all they did was have too much cannabis on them. So he's actually gotten a number of folks out of jail already, and he does that show every Wednesday. I think it's at 3 o'clock if I remember correctly.
Uh, like, man, you get caught with any amount, you're going to jail,
Yep.
and it's really sad. It doesn't feel like I have the same exact equal rights as other people because of that. Of course, the reason why is because we the federal government is giving given states their own choice, which is a
Right.
good thing. I don't know if y'all have heard the speculation about martial law and all that,
I have heard that
but
speculations. What are your thoughts on that?
well, actually, I feel like it might be a good thing. It might be a good thing to demote some people, and I'm not against any of them, and I actually pray for them.
Hmm.
I hope they do a very good job whenever they get elected, or the latter. But I I don't like to go into political
Yeah.
debates, because everyone loses in the end. We have to be unified
Oh yeah.
instead of
Unity.
split apart.
Yep. That's what
Yeah.
this network is all about. It's about unity. So definitely we would agree with you on that. We're trying to find ways to unify people and not necessarily divide populations and all of that. So definitely that's part of what the whole
And
creation of the network was about.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. One thing I would like to share with anyone who's watching that is musically involved is that they are free to contact me
Uh-huh.
about their music. If they just want to talk about uh, their if they want to send me a link just to go and view their video because they need someone to send it, please. I'm the person who will tell you the truth about it and not just sugarcoat it as well.
Cool.
I'm gonna judge if I can do that or not.
Gotcha.
I'm a good review. I'm a good reviewer, and I would like to invite people to join a Discord as well.
Okay.
So I don't know if you're gonna continue on with the show
Yeah, the show will go
with
for a
someone
while, but
else.
yeah, I've got a couple
Okay,
other guests that'll be coming on.
I'll be
But
I don't know if you. Is it okay if I share the links after
yes,
this?
yeah, definitely. You can definitely share the links, and you
Awesome.
can definitely also tell folks the Discord and where they can find all that information. But if you put it in either the chat or in the banners that you were doing earlier, I'll be glad to share those thoughts with you, as well as any of the websites and the books and all of that. They can definitely get that from you and everything. What is you mentioned that you're in Texas, and a lot of folks have different views of Texas. But were you born and bred in Texas, and what is your thoughts about your home state, and what is a part of Texas that more people should know about that they don't know about? I'm not going to say that I've ever been to Texas. I've never been to Texas a day in my life. I just went to Nevada for the first time about 3 years ago. So, like I said, or 2 years ago. So, what kind of things would you tell folks about Texas that they may not know, and what parts of Texas would you urge people to come visit? Still with me, Royce? Is he still with me?
I'm sorry. As far as visiting
Yeah, I was saying,
yes, sir. I'm still
yes.
here. I heard you. Uh, as far as visiting Texas, I believe that you should go to Slitterbahn. It's the largest. Well, once they're opened, uh, it's the largest water park in the United States
Oh, wow.
and maybe in the U.S. or the whole world right now. It's
Wow.
located in New Braunfels, Texas, which is a very German town.
Uh-huh.
It's a pretty cool place. You can float the river and go down the cool water slides. Uh,
Cool.
as far as Texas, I believe Texas is one of those states that the United States needs. They we have Austin, which has
Hmm.
the technology revolution going on.
Right.
We we have large mines of oil, which everyone needs. In fact, the Texas Railroad Commission is is known for its safety regulations and all the work that they do. Uh, another thing is Range Resources
Mm.
is a good, and for anybody who buys stock, Range Resources is a leader in the oil and gas energy war. So go and support the United States stocks. There are stocks that are Chinese nowadays, and that's not wrong to support other countries, but I believe that we need to help ourselves right now in this situation. There's a lot going on, and right now we should be investing really in a cure for COVID. So go and support Pfizer, and go and support Moderna. Go and support AstraZeneca. All of them are doing what they have to, but they need to try to find a cure that's not in mRNA. That some of us won't take that. We're not going to take anything that could change our chemical makeup.
Right.
I think that it's important to hear us out too. Maybe there are people who are allergic to that kind of vaccine, or they just don't want to take that kind of vaccine. So that's one thing. If you are into the whole supporting the vaccine, is to invest in their stocks, and they do go down. You have to be not afraid, because you know that you are investing in life in the end. And that's what we're about.
Yep, definitely. And they definitely got to get those things going and get those cures going and try to end this pandemic sooner versus later and all of that. Well, I had another question. I know that Texas is very big on its football. So are you a big football fan? And if so, who is your football team, both professionally or college? Because I know Texas, that's what Texas is known for. Y'all are known for y'all's football and everything.
How about them Cowboys? We're going to win the Super Bowl. You already
not this year.
I don't. Sports brings on is like a competitive type of spirit. So I just think I like sports, and I don't ever want to be in any argument about anything with anyone. And
that makes sense. But like I said, I do know that y'all are very much into the sports, and I know that sometimes folks are, what is it, Texas A&M versus the University of Texas, and usually y'all are in somebody's bowl, if not in a national fight, because lately that's been Alabama and some of the other schools that are Southern as well. But I do know that Texas historically has always had a good reputation, and of course y'all get a number of great draft picks on a regular basis. So he bounced something. So, all right. So I know that that's part of what they do in Texas, and maybe he'll come back later on, but we're going to see what's going on. In the meantime, we're going to give you a little bit of a dose of music, because I did say that we're going to play some more Bobby Hinton, and I'm going to let y'all hear a little bit of the song entitled Members Only. So I'm going to let y'all hear a little bit of Members Only, which is a classic Bobby Hinton song, and it's definitely an amazing Bobby Hinton song. So we're ready to bring that on in just a matter of a minute or so. So hold on, we're going to try to bring Bobby sound in to what we've got going on here, and hopefully y'all will enjoy the sounds of Bobby Hinton. Like I said, Bobby is a truly amazing musician, and is one from around this area. So like I said, he's been doing this for a number of years and all of that. So I'm going to let y'all check out a little bit of what Bobby Hinton is all about. And I think that y'all will really enjoy the sound of Bobby Hinton and what he is doing with his music. And getting ready to bring that up for y'all in just a matter of a minute or so. And like I said, hopefully Royce will come back and have some more things that he wants to share with us about the things that he's involved in as well. So we're going to keep this thing rolling right along with the great music of Bobby Hinton. So hopefully y'all will enjoy the sounds of Bobby and what he's all about. And like I said, we're going to really try to bring that up in just a few seconds or something like that. Looks like things are trying to not cooperate as much as I would like them to, but there we go. So let's see if we can get Bobby into the flow of things. and have a little bit of the sound of Bobby Hinton. Like I said, this is a classic song that he did, and it's his rendition of that classic song entitled Members Only. And like I said, this is definitely a song that a lot of folks will probably recognize and all of that, as it is a truly blues classic. So I know a lot of folks are probably going to be like, that is a true blues classic if ever there was one, and along those lines. So that being said, let's see if we can't get Bobby.
Don't be uptight. Enjoy yourself. You're not by yourself. There's a lot of us out here, just like all of us. Just like all of us here, with broken hearts. Our night to shine. You know why? It's all of us. All of us here have a broken heart. Remember.
Like I said, we're having some technical problem. So we're going to see if we can't get that fixed real quick and get you that members only song I want y'all to check out. That's always an amazing thing when we can get things working the way I want to. So we're going to see what we can do about that. And in the meantime, we're just going to keep things rolling right along and talk about a number of things. And hopefully some of the folks will come back and join us. And of course, we've always got amazing shows that exist here on International Broadcast Media. So that being said, I'm going to bring y'all some of the shows that exist right here on our powerful network, which of course you can catch out all the great shows that we do on our network by going over there and checking out International Broadcast Media. So definitely looking forward to y'all checking out some of these true great shows that we have here on our network, and hopefully y'all will enjoy the many great programming that exists here that has got all kinds of amazing things that happen here on Monday through Sunday. That's right, 7 days a week. Some great things that are going on in the sense of our programming and all of that. So that being said, I'm going to let y'all check out a little bit of some of our amazing programming and some of the things that exist here on our powerful network and all of that. So hopefully y'all will enjoy these. But I'm also going to let y'all check out a couple of very important PSAs as well. So let's check out a couple of PSAs. We've been talking about some important things, so let's check this out.
What's the coolest thing about your job?
Engineers take the very best of science and technology and solve problems.
Did you know all that stuff when you were my age?
All I knew is that I really liked math and I really liked science.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm going to drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely going to call a ride home.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Yeah, that's right. We still got some amazing shows in existence. It's time for me to tell you about those as well. So if y'all hold on a second, we're going to let you check out some of these amazing shows that exist right here on our powerful network and all of that. So let's check out Chess Stars.
Don't be uptight. Enjoy yourself. You're not by yourself. There's a lot of us out here, just like all of us this here, with broken hearts. But the most important thing, this is our night to shine. You know why? Because all of us here has a broken heart, one way or the other. Members only. It's a private party. Don't need no money. Qualified. Don't bring a checkbook. Bring a broken heart. 'Cause the members only tonight. Say you lost your woman. Say you lost your man. Got a lot of problems all in your life. So they throw in a party for the lonely heart. 'Cause the members only tonight. Go tell mama. Go tell her daddy, red or yellow, black or white. We throw in a party for the lonely heart. 'Cause the members only tonight. Come on down. Got to be room for you. Oh, the broken heart is here. I'm singing to you. This is your party. Sit back and relax. 'Cause the members only tonight. Say you lost your woman, say you lost your man. Got a lot of problems all in your life. Say they throw in a party for the broken heart, 'cause his members only tonight. Go tell mama, go tell her dad, red or yellow, black or white. We go in a party for the lonely heart, 'cause the members only tonight. Oh, it's members only tonight. Let me tell you all out there, members only tonight. Come on down, get your ticket. Members only tonight.
Yep, that was a little bit of a Bobby Hinton, and there's great blues music, and all of that might give you a little bit more of the music from others as well during the course of this particular show. But definitely was enjoying that interview with Mr. Royce and all, and he was sharing a little bit about what he's doing musically and all of that. It looks like his equipment had decided that it wanted to conk out. We do know that sometimes happens in the fascinating world of technology. That's just the way that things roll sometimes, and we have no problem with that. Hopefully he'll get a chance to pop back in later on this afternoon or evening or an upcoming edition of this particular show. And of course, we're always glad to have him drop in those links that he wanted to share as well of the different authors and different people along that line. So maybe he's watching and he can let us know some of those links that he wanted to share by typing them in, and then I will put them on the screen. He did say that he was sorry that his device had passed out on him and all of that. So definitely appreciate his great thoughts and some of the wisdom that he was sharing about what he's been doing in the music land and in the music field. So we do know that these things happen in the world, and all you can do is just kind of like roll with the punches. That's the way that technology works, and that's the way that things sometimes happen and all of that. So we're going to keep things moving right along and have other great conversations. Who knows who might pop in. I do know that I had invited the woman from Helium to come on the show as well, and she's got some amazing things going on in her world. And of course, we've got all kinds of great things happening here on international broadcast media. So definitely just keep yourself locked in here. Stay tuned, and we'll continue the conversation rolling. We'll talk about some other things. And of course, it's music, Mullings, and a memory. So I might even share some memories of my own and all of that. So that being said, that's what's going on here in our world. And hopefully others are going to pop in and share what they've got happening in their world as well. So definitely, we had some great conversations about AR and VR, as well as the Children's Flight of Hope and all of that. So definitely, we've got some great conversations happening, and we'll continue to have great conversations here on this network. So definitely, I think that they're doing some amazing things at the international broadcast media. Hope that y'all are having a good time on this particular evening and are definitely surviving and trying to do what you can in these hard times that we exist in and all of that. So know that a lot of folks are probably paying attention to a lot of things that are happening here in our world and trying to figure out how they will go in their own sense and all of that. So that being said, we're just going to keep this thing rolling along and see what folks have got to say about things that are going on in their world. And of course, I will share some news stories and all of that. As I mentioned earlier, I did see that they had a story earlier about Crocs, and I do remember those particular shoes and all of that. So I'm going to see if I can find that article again and see what they've got to say about Crocs and what Crocs are doing. Because, there's no telling what's going on in the world until we look it up and find out for ourselves what they're talking about. So I'm about to look that up and see what other stories LinkedIn and other sources have going on. So there are all kinds of amazing stories that happen on a regular basis, and I love sharing these stories with folks to see what they've got going on in their world. So see that Royce has come back in and is still not back in. So maybe he's got his device going back on and all of that. So we'll see what he's got going on, and we'll definitely continue our conversation with Mr. Royce and see what he's got happening in his world, as it looks like he's got his equipment back on. I thought maybe he decided to duck off and talk to his friend that he was telling us about that he wanted to go have a conversation with them and all of that. So, but it looks like he's back in the house. So I'll get ready to try to pull up that article about Crocs, which is that popular shoe and everything. And then, of course, we'll continue our conversation with Royce and see what he's got going on in his world and what things he wants to share about Texas or not share about Texas, as the case may be. But I am glad to see that he did pop back in, and he's back in the house and all of that. So I'm going to pull him on back up, and we'll see what he's got going on and everything along those lines. So I see you're back in the house, Roy. So I know that you were having some technical difficulties with your phone and all of that. So glad that you were able to rejoin us and continue the conversation and everything along those lines. But you were going to put some things into the chat. So I was telling folks that if you wanted to have those, if you wanted to mention those, that's always good protocol and all of that. So I do know that you have some issues with your telephone and trying to get everything up and running and everything along those lines. So I'm glad that you're back. Like I said, I thought you maybe had disappeared to go talk to that young lady that you were mentioning.
Yeah. First off, I would like to apologize for that. My device died. I would never just dip off like that. That would be wrong. But yeah. How about them Cowboys, right, guys?
Yep.
Woo! But what were we talking about before we dipped off?
We were talking about football and just the fact that Texas is such a football town. I was actually going to see if Kim Calhoun, who actually is one of our founders, was going to pop in because she's actually spent some time in Texas. I can't remember if she's a Texas native or what, but I know that Texas is one of her home areas, even though she's definitely called North Carolina home. But I want to say that Texas is one of her home areas, and she's one of the founders of the international broadcast media. So when you had popped off, I had popped on and sent her a message just to see if she was going to pop in and join on the conversation. So you were telling me about some of the things that you love about Texas, and you had actually mentioned a water park that you were a big fan of, and I think you were going to share some other places, and that's when the phone decided to go haywire. And then, of course, we were talking about sports, and I was actually going to ask you about the music scene, because I'm here in North Carolina, and there's what we call the Research Triangle Park, which is Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill, but they used to compare themselves to Austin because there's very much of an indie music scene here, and I know that Austin is known for its indie music scene, or at least it was. I don't know if Austin still has that reputation. So I guess that's the question I'm going to ask you is, one, involved in the music industry, does Austin still have that reputation of being an indie music town?
Well, Slitterbond is a cool place. First off, I recommend it to anyone. They also have little rivers in New Braunfels. And you can float the river with an inner tube, and it's cool because you can float the river and drink beer at the same time legally. Which I know people love to drink beer. I'm not an alcohol fan, but that's one cool thing. As long as you are not on the bank of the river while you're floating the river, you won't get in trouble. And then on the other topic, the music scene, I actually believe that the music scene is in the Houston area, and I'm from North Texas. I'm from up in the North Panhandle, actually, by the Panhandle of Oklahoma. So in the Four Corner area. No, I'm sorry, the other side of the Four Corner area. So I have the perfect spot for a radio station in the United States.
Oh, wow.
This would be the perfect place because I'm right in the middle. And then I got Canada and Mexico as well if I had it big enough, So that's one thing is placing antennas is the right way, and where they should go is somewhere that is flat. I don't believe you should put them on top of mountains. That gets them broken easier and makes them fall down easier because of more wind and the turbulence of the wind. I don't know. These are some situations that I'm sure I consider myself a critical thinker, and that's how I've gotten through everything. So there's something that y'all might need. What else? What else do y'all go over? I want to know more about IBM TV.
Well, International Broadcast Media, like I said, the founders are Kim Calhoun and Nick Palveda. They founded it several years back. They actually had a agreement with the company IBM, and they did some recordings around some things together. And then they, during the COVID era, they started doing reporting when they realized that things were going on with this pandemic, because they were hearing reports from doctors and other places around the country. So they started the network, I think, back in March. So they've actually aired almost not quite a year worth of content and things of that nature. But there are programs that are from throughout. There's actually a woman, Alexandria May, who is a musician out of South Africa. And she does Alexandria May's Music Cafe, and that is on every Sunday afternoon. She's actually in her mid-20s and is a pop star out of South Africa, but she spent time between South Africa and in Nashville. So she's one of the shows. Then my good friend, Brother Mike's what we call him, because a lot of us cannot, and myself included, pronounce his last name, but he's from Nigeria, and he does a whole show around spirituality, but talks around a number of other issues. They were even having issues around their police there in Nigeria and some of the ways that they were treating some of their citizens, even in the country of Nigeria, that would be comparable to Black Lives Matter. So he's talked about that. He's talked about religious issues. He's talked about manipulation and relationships. So he does that show on Friday afternoons. And then there is another guys, the folks from Oregon that do a show called Talking Upstream, which is basically they whiteboard. So they whiteboard TV shows and create TV shows and movies and cartoons and whatever else is in their mind. And they do that on Sundays as well. Then Gwen Guthrie, that's a musician. Gwen Hurt, she does a show called Shoe Crazy, which is about her wines and everything. So she's actually a wine has her own wine company, Shoe Crazy Wines, but they do like a view kind of like show where they have different women talking and everything. So just about things that are on their mind, as well as the wine and having food and things of that nature. Then Nancy Sulla does a show called Learning Unwrapped, which literally unwraps what the education system looks like and all of that. And she's had people from throughout the countries, including some educators from Texas that have been on the show, as well as educators from Florida and California and a number of other places. And then, like I said, there's Weed Wednesday, which Jeff Eachin does, and his sister was actually one of the producers for Cheers, that old TV series. But he's been doing Weed Wednesdays for a while. And then there is, I'm trying to think of some of the other programs that you might be interested in, because there are a lot of great content that they do. The Gamers Den. The Gamers Den is every Thursday. So in the Gamers Den, they talk about the video gaming industry and have different people. We actually play games sometimes on that show and have whole conversations around that. And then Nick Palveda, one of the founders, he has a show called The Lawyer's Den, which is conversations with lawyers about law and law issues and things of that nature. They just started a recent one about taxes. And then Fred Hicks and Marc Cantana, they do one about finances. So one of their themes here is unity. Another theme is trying to make sure that people are financially educated, because they think that financial literacy is very important. So that's just some of the shows. Sasha Starr has a couple of shows, one on investment. So he actually has people learn about stock investments and things of that nature. And then he also has a show called Chess Stars, which he actually plays various chess games and things along that line. And then there's Med Fridays and Podcaster Thursdays. Oh, they do a show with Henning Morales, which is about Hollywood, and he's an independent Hollywood movie maker. So he shows some of his movies and also brings some of his actors and his staff on, and they just have whole conversations around what's going on in Hollywood and the movie industry. So, and then Best of Travel, which Brandon does, and that revolves around travel hacks and travel tips and things of that nature. So that's actually on tomorrow. That's on Tuesday. So that's just a few of the shows. I think they're close to 70 shows or thereabouts. And like I said, my friend Zach does funk music with Zach on Sunday afternoons, which explores funk music as well as just has good conversations in general. And then after that, we go into our roundtable discussion. So that's just a few of the things that exist here on International Broadcast TV, which is now basically one of the few, if not, there's only a few in the country, and there might only be less than 5 that are internet TV stations, so network. So we're literally an internet TV network, and they have listeners in Australia, in London, and throughout England and Europe, in Malaysia, in Africa, in Asia, in Africa, I said that, in Central America, South America, North America, so pretty much all over the globe. I want to say the last time I checked, it was something like, I think we had been heard in something like 120 countries or 125, something like that. And we've got multiple shows from multiple platforms. So like I said, I am just a cog in the machine, but those are the founders. And then there's Win Fan, who is one of the tech people, as well as Ankit, and Ankit is in India, and he's one of the founders as well. So he's got his own company, but he's one of the founders of this network that exists. So they're always recruiting new shows and new people. So I think they're talking to a young lady about doing a nutrition show and a couple of other new shows that will be coming online in the near future as well. So that's a little bit about International Broadcast Media, which is what IBM TV stands for.
Right. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. That was, I'm
no
actually
problem.
interested in a lot of those topics. There are most of those topics I have these great ideas about. Like earlier you were talking about, I believe, what was it? You were talking about a person who makes kids TV shows or something like that.
We haven't got that. We're talking about Alexandria, which is, she does live music and it's more like pop music, but her sister Isabella had a kid show. There was like a puppet show, Isabella and Rosie, and then there was a couple of other kid shows that existed as well. So some of those shows are, I think, on temporary hiatus, but they're definitely interested in kid programming and programs that have to do with kids, and definitely the Gamers Den is about video games. So it's all about the video game industry.
Okay.
So,
awesome. And technically, sonically, I shared a couple links. Sonically is a game developing company.
Cool.
I'm because I want things to be the best that they can. Support everything that has a purpose. So, whenever it came down to that TV kids shows, I've had this idea going on, and that's with Charlie Rocket, like I shared at the very first.
Right.
It's with the same guy. So I believe in things happening for certain reasons.
Oh, yeah.
And I would like to share those things with y'all, if y'all would like
to.
Well,
like I said, that's one of the things that we're always open to having conversations with people that want to bring constructive and positive shows to the network. I know that Karen Oker, they've been talking to her about doing a nutrition show. There have been some other people that they've been having conversations with about bringing new programs on to the platform, because they are always looking to have new and amazing conversations and new and amazing shows. So they are definitely open to that conversation. I'm actually helping them recruit some of those shows. And then, like I said, Ankit does a lot of the screening and things of that nature. I think Tawana Anthony may be having her first show. I want to say it may be on either today or if not, it'll be coming on in the next week or two. But I know that they're definitely been talking to her about bringing her show platform on, and she's an educator out of DC area, even though her family is in Louisiana. So they've definitely been looking at a lot of different kinds of shows, and there are new shows that they are always constantly recruiting. So I know that they've also been having, that's all I was teasing you about the sports. So they've been having conversations about at some point creating a sports show. We did have a fantasy football show that was on for a while, and then it's no longer on, but we've been looking at having some conversations with people that are sports fans about creating some sports shows. Because early on, I think it was
actually wanted to tell
last
you
year that they actually had Kim and some of her earlier founders actually did interviews with some of the athletes from some of the teams that were there at Super Bowl weekend. So that was right before the coronavirus, and I think she said that she got to touch the Lombardi Trophy and all of that. So I know that before less travel was happening, she was going to different events, and I think there's still plans for them to go to events whenever we get back to a sense of normality.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. Well, what was I going to say? Do y'all want to listen to some music?
Yeah, if you got some music, I was playing Bobby earlier, but if you got some music, we would love to hear some of your music and things.
I don't know how to do it like you do, but I'm just going to have to stream it the best I can.
That's cool. Right.
Okay, so here we go.
Yep.
And let me see if I can switch the camera around for y'all.
Okay.
Probably not, actually. I'm just going to go ahead and play it.
Yep, play it and we'll see if we can hear it. Yep, we hear it. You might want to turn it up just a little bit. Now, is this your music or is this music of one of your clients or somebody that you're involved with?
This is actually my own music.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't get a good view of it.
Yeah.
But here we go. Let me turn it up.
Yeah, turn it up a little bit.
Let's not. Here, I need to go grab. Well, I can't just go grab a speaker, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can't do that this time.
Okay. Well, we will figure out another way to jig it. But I think they heard at least a little bit of the sounds and everything. But you said that was some of your original music? And by the way, Russ Hedge just said hello and everything. So Russ Hedge is a motivational speaker, and he's popped in on this show every once in a while. So he is a motivational speaker, and he was watching, and he just said hello to us and everything. So hello back to Russ. So Russ was definitely saying hello to us and just saying what he was doing. And he's, like I said, a very powerful motivational speaker that's always got all kinds of amazing motivational thoughts on his mind and all of that. So glad that Russ was checking us out and was letting us know that he was checking us out on this particular Monday evening. Well, it's Monday evening here because it's almost close to 6 o'clock here, but I think it's close to 5 where you are and everything. So that would still technically be evening as well. So like I said, it's evening there in Texas and evening here in Durham, North Carolina. As I'm looking outside, I'm seeing that it's actually dark here. I don't know if it's dark where you are. You probably got another hour.
I'm sorry, taking up your time.
No, you're doing good. No, you're doing real good.
Well, I'll have to figure out what I need to get that for to stream it better next time. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and head off.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being on the show. Definitely appreciate you sharing your thoughts. And like I said earlier, one of the things that I do with everybody, including yourself and everything, is I always give people a chance to share their message of positivity. So I never let anybody leave without sharing their message of positivity. So if you would like to share your message of positivity, then I'm going to let you bounce on off and just share whatever message of positivity that you would like to share with our global audience. So any words of encouragement that you want to give to folks both here in the United States as well as around the world.
Yes, that would be that you're valuable, you are more than worth it, and you can do whatever you want. Do it. Thank
Great
you.
advice
Y'all
and
have
some
a
very
blessed
powerful
and
advice.
wonderful day.
All right. You have a good day as well. I appreciate you being on. And it was, like I said, some great advice that you gave. I definitely appreciate that.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So that was some words of advice from Royce. And Royce was sharing his words of encouragement and all of that. So hopefully he'll come back on and we'll figure out a way to get his music out there and everything. I'm sure folks are interested in hearing more of his music and more of what he's got going on and all of that. So we're going to find out what he's got happening in his world and see what else is going on. Like I said, I was going to bring up that story about the Crocs because that was something that was fascinating me. The fact that they said that Crocs sales were up, and I don't know why Crocs sales would be up at this particular time, but they did say that those sales were up and all of that. So I'm curious to see what that article says as to why they're up and why they are up at this particular time of life and all of that. So it's going to be interesting to see what their comment is as to why the Crocs are running up and what's going on in that regard. So I'm also going to see if Russ wants to pop in and share what he's got going on in his world as well. So, I'm always interested in hearing what Russ has got happening in all of that. So I'm going to send him a note and see if he's got any amazing thoughts in his world and what he wants to share with our world. Every Monday night, we're always glad to have guests pop in and share what's going on in their world and what they've got going on. And plus, I'm curious to see if Russ has got Crocs of his own. So who knows? Maybe he's got some Crocs of his own as well. So it'll be interesting to see what Russ has got to say and whether he's got any Crocs that he's wearing or whether he's just thinking that that's just some insanity for folks to be having those Crocs on and all of that. So we're going to ready to see what he's got going on and if he's got any thoughts about Crocs and the whole nature of Crocs and all of that. So I'll see if he wants to pop in and share what's happening in Russ's world. Because, we also air Russ on the Next Level Podcast Network, which, of course, at 7 o'clock, I'll be bouncing over there, hollering at my good friend, Dean Geronimo, as we do Straight Talk with Dean and Marc. So it'll be interesting to see what we've aired of Russ's shows, because we love Russ's shows, and he's always got some great things going on in his world as well. So we're going to find out what's going on in his world. If he's able to pop in, if he can't pop in, that's cool as well. But like I said, I'm going to read about the Crocs as well and see what's happening in that sense. So it will just be fascinating to see what folks are doing and what's going on in their world. So like I said, I'm going to read about the Crocs and all of that. So I think Russ was asking me how much longer I'm on. And I realized that I've got almost another 30 minutes to an hour to go and everything. So that being said, I'm going to tell him that, and hopefully he can pop on in here. Like I said, I'm still waiting to hear from the lady from Helium because I was expecting her to pop in, but maybe she's going to pop in on our Wednesday dinner party. And by the way, one of our mystery guests will be a person in the world of entertainment and novelty entertainment. Remember that. It is novelty entertainment. So that's probably not going to be your standard singer and or musician. So it might be a dancer, might be a magician, it might be a puppeteer, but it's not going to be your standard person. So think of that when you're thinking of the clues for our mystery guest. Because I do know one is going to be an entertainer, and they will be from here, meaning the United States or so, but they will not be somebody in the more traditional sense of music and all of that. So they won't be a musician and or a singer. At least I don't think they ever did any music or singing. But who knows? When I'm doing my research, I may find out that they've got a whole career as a musician that I didn't know about. But they will be what I consider a novelty act. And then I'm going to try to find me somebody that is international. Right now, I'm leaning towards somebody that might have been associated with Abraham Lincoln, but they were from another country. But they might have been associated with Abraham Lincoln. That's what I'm leaning towards. I do know that one will definitely be the novelty act. I'm not sure about the other one. and all of that. So we're going to find out what happens in that regard as to whether we learn more about them and all of that. So that being said, I'm going to see if Russ wants to pop in and share a little bit of his thoughts and things along those lines. And like I said, I was going to ask him if he ever owned a pair of Crocs, since apparently Crocs were in the news recently and have some things going on in that regard. So I'm going to see if he's going to pop in or wants to pop in at least for a second or two and all of that. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to find the story about the Crocs once again. Like I said, the Crocs did seem like an interesting story, and I don't know why Crocs would be in the news, but I am curious to find out why they're in the news and what we're going to do with them being in the news on this particular day. So, like I said, I'm going to look that up and see what Crocs are doing in the news, particularly in the world of LinkedIn. So, like I said, I'm going to look that up real quickly and also see if Russ or some of the other people that I invited want to pop in as well. Like I said, we had a great conversation earlier with those amazing ladies that talked about everything from AR to the medical field and helping folks that are going on and all of that. So definitely that was some great conversation that I had with them and everything. By the way, the LinkedIn title of the article was Ugly or Not, Crocs apparently had a great year. So we're going to find out why Crocs had a great year, and I'm going to share that with y'all right about now, because I never thought the Crocs were all that cool of a looking shoe. But then again, I was also the one that back in the day had Converse All-Stars, and I think that's Pumas, and definitely had some Adidas's and some other shoes. But you know, apparently Crocs are very popular, or have been popular at one time or another. So I'm curious to see what they got to say, because they do agree with me that Crocs can be some definitely not the most attractive shoes in the world or anything along that line. So definitely what the article says is that the colorful clogs that people love to hate had a banner year in 2020. So apparently Crocs is slated to report its best annual sales ever, according to the company, raking in about 1.4 billion, guess I did say billion, in revenue last year as the pandemic drove up demands for its comfortable footwear. With more people spending time at home, the polarizing foam plastic clogs made a strong comeback, gaining popularity for their functionality, if not style. Our brand momentum is exceptional, and we anticipate another record year in 2021. That is what one of the executives said there over there at that particular shoe company that makes the Crocs and everything. So and Crocs are very big and all of that. And I see that Russ has joined me and everything. So, hey, Russ, glad to see you pop in here and everything. Do you have a pair of Crocs? I don't own a pair of Crocs.
No, I don't. But how are you doing, Marc?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I am good. It is a good Monday. Ready for a good week.
It's a good Monday. How is the weather? How is the weather where you are?
It's all right. I mean, it's overcast, but it's been raining on and off. But today, got out, took a little walk. It's all right.
But no snow?
No. We, in the Willamette Valley where I live in Salem, Oregon, it's very mild. And so very little snow, just a whole lot of rain. And, but it's a good climate. It's nice and green. We're an hour away from the coast and an hour away from the snow in the mountains. So we're all good.
Sounds like y'all are really good. I was talking to Royce before you joined me, and he was sharing that he's trying to break into the music business and all the things of that nature. And I know that your wife is involved in the music ministry, if I remember correctly, as is a kid of yours.
Yeah, actually, our entire family has been involved in the music ministry. I've been a music pastor for years, and my son is down in Pasadena. And actually is not only he travels a little bit and plays right now during COVID, that's been kind of spotty, but he worked for a big mastering company down there. So he's in the music industry. So yeah, my wife was traveled and did music for years, but she has since kind of let the kids do that. And my daughter is very active in worship ministry as well. So yeah, it's kind of a family affair.
Yeah, sounds like a family affair, an amazing family affair. So you got the whole family affair going on, and you got the music. And he said it's a little rainy, but that's all right. You got your umbrella, even if you don't have your Crocs. So you at least have the umbrella. Because I thought I was going to have to take mine out earlier today, but then I realized that the rain is actually coming tomorrow. We did have some rain this past weekend, and one of my coworkers at one of my jobs, they actually got that dreaded S word, because we have an area that we may get nothing, but there's an area just a little bit north of us called Roxborough, and it seems like when we get nothing, they still get ice and snow. So, like I said, they seem to be a little bit closer to the mountains. So we'll be sitting there going like, nothing happened. They'll be like, yes, it did. That's why we work on Friday, because they were not there on Friday. We're all shaking our heads like, why are they here? And then they were like, we had snow. We're like, well, we didn't see any snow. All we saw was little flurries.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because the difference in elevation, even in this area, some of the areas within the same city that I live in can have a couple inches of snow, and we can have nothing where we live, because there's some areas that are a little more elevated. Right. And so, yeah, but mostly it's all pretty mild. I mean, we don't get a ton of the real harsh weather, which really is nice, actually. Right. Pretty mild temperatures most of the time. And so, yeah, I love it.
Sounds like it. Well, I saw that to a degree. About 2 years ago, I went to visit a friend of mine in Vegas, and they were living and still live in the Vegas, Arizona area, but they're not that far, their house, from the mountains. So literally you could look out from their house and see the snow, because the mountains were nearby, but then they would have no snow at all where they were and everything. And because I think they were maybe we didn't go up to the mountains, but guesstimating that they were probably maybe 2 or 3 miles from the mountains, and probably another 3 miles the other way would put you in the Strip. So, like I said, right. I did not make it to the Strip because I was there not this past New Year's, but the New Year's before, and I did not make it down to the Strip, but I did get to see some of the shooting of the fireworks and all of that stuff. But I'm sitting there going like, nope, don't want to go to the Strip. That sounds like too much of a headache.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just easier not to worry about it. So what are you doing this week? What are you up to?
Well, last week I started something new, which is way too much excitement. I don't know if I can handle my thrills of excitement and everything, but you have to have these survival things called jobs. And one of the jobs that I have is I work with a grading company and all of that. And then the other one, of course, is I work with the Cultural Arts Center, the Haytat Center. But the grading company has decided that they want us to do basically assembly line work. So for the last several days and everything, I've literally been taking files and putting barcodes on them and then putting those things into a box. Like I said, they're just trying to find work until the grading comes. So they're just trying to find stuff to keep us somewhat busy and somewhat occupied. But as you can just tell, I'm like jumping up and down over this exciting job because it's like way too much excitement.
Yes, I definitely am a person that has to keep myself super busy because I need the constant things happening. I need the constant motion. So I know that you're a lot that same way. So I can understand that you would be chomping at the bit for something to actually do.
Yeah, exactly. Something to actually to do, and it engages your brains and everything. I have, as I was telling a friend of mine, I have found unusual ways to kind of like break the monotony. So like I said, if I'm supposed to put one item in and another item in the box or whatever, I may like start doing numerical systems. So it'd be like, take 5 of them and be like, all right, I'll take 1 from the left and then 2 from the right, two from the left and 2 from the right. So you come up with like these numerical patterns in order to break the monotony.
Yeah, well, that's good. At least you have somehow to do that.
Yeah.
So, hey, I wanted to tell you, I just wanted to put a quick plug in this week. We have a new live show starting.
Cool.
And I think you probably heard about that. But if you didn't, it's called The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. I think we talked about it on your last show. And it's this Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It'll be live on YouTube and on Facebook. And so very exciting. We're going to have a couple of really good guests. Brian Schulman, who you know.
Yes, I do know Brian.
And also Stacy Rasky out of Florida, 2 incredibly good people. So it'll be a lot of fun. D. Scott Smith and myself will be doing that. And so that'll be this Wednesday again, YouTube and Facebook. So
that'll be 10 a.m. my time.
Is what?
So 7 a.m. your time. So 10 a.m. my time.
Yes, exactly. Yes, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so 10 your time, right? And and also anybody that ever wants to tune in to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie, just released podcast this morning, and those are released every Monday and Thursday by 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But they sit up there, so on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, you can get those, both the video and the audio version. So lots of fun if you need something to do when you're not busy, Mark.
I'm going to keep that in mind because I do say we can put our headsets on, so I can definitely put on my headsets to listen to you while I'm sitting there doing this less than exciting work and everything. But tell us a little bit about the person that you're doing this show with. Because like I said, you popped in a couple of times, so I know you fairly well and everything, but I don't know this. I think you said his name was Steve, or was it Scott? It was one of those.
It's D. Scott Smith. So actually his name, he goes by Scott, but it's D period, like dog, D period Scott Smith. And he is a motivational listener. And of course I am an inspiration specialist.
Right.
And so we have a motivational listener and an inspiration specialist. And we're going to be having that every Wednesday. It'll be a weekly feature now, Wednesday mornings. And so really excited about that. And at some point we're going to have you on, Mark. It's going to be a ton of fun, and we're already booked up a couple of months getting going. We haven't even started. We actually had a kind of a preview number. Episode number 1 was really a preview episode, and it was in December. We had about 5 of our friends from, they say, across the pond in Dublin, Ireland. So we had 5 of our friends from across the pond. And then we had one of our friends from Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know if you know Jim Fuse. He was on from Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes.
So we had a really good group and we had a lot of fun. But we're going to whittle it down to 2 per episode because they're going to be about a half hour. It's not a long live show, but we want to make sure we get plenty of time to talk. We're going to talk about networking, marketing, connecting, and goal setting for 2021. So it'll be a lot of fun.
It sounds like a lot of fun. And I do know because Jim Fuse is the one that does the Tim and Jim show. So, yes, he's part of the Tim and Jim show. So I do know him that way. I mean, I don't think we've actually physically met or talked or done any sort of StreamYard or Zoom or anything along those lines. But I'm hoping that everything stays the same because, the big news last week, in addition to the craziness in D.C., was the fact that StreamYard got bought. So I saw that they've been bought out by some company that says that they're going to keep them the same and that they're going to just do some more amazing things with them. But I saw that and they got bought for a significant amount of money. I think it was $250 million, which is more than I've probably ever seen in my lifetime. But they had that kind of money.
Well, that's the people that started StreamYard obviously did well on that.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they keep it the same because it is a great tool and we have really just started using it. It's a lot of fun, as you know. And I'm really excited about it. So, tune in on Wednesday. And then, Mark, at some point we'll get you scheduled on the show, too. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yes, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I definitely want to pop in and be on the show. And by the way, folks can listen to Marketing with Russ and everything on our podcasting network. Because like I said, we had the conversation with Dean and everything. So we have been airing reruns on the Next Level Podcasting Network. So folks can go there and hear back episodes because I'll get an email several times a week and it'll be from Dean telling me I've just uploaded Russ's latest episode. So I do know that we are uploading those on a regular basis. So you can also hear it on the same place that you can hear Straight Talk with Dean and Mark, which will be coming your way in about an hour today. But definitely that same platform, we got your show as well after you gave us that permission. So we definitely appreciate that and all of that. So definitely.
And Mark, I appreciate that so much. I'm glad you're doing that. And when we did talk about that, that's awesome. And you're going to have to send me a link to the rebroadcast just so I have that and I can kind of pump your show a little bit.
Yes.
But super excited about that. At some point, you're going to have to get Jim on because I know you know Tim because he partners with Brian on a couple of the shows, the Shout Out Saturday and the What's Good Wednesday. But I've had both Tim and Brian and Jim all on my show. Wow. And so that's another thing we got to get you on. I need to get you on my podcast as well.
Yeah, I would love to get on your podcast and everything. And by the way, Royce, who was on earlier, says that Crocs are comfortable because apparently he's got a pair of Crocs and he was saying that they are comfortable and all of that. So he was making a plug for the Crocs and saying that they were a comfortable tool and everything to have in your arsenal of clothes. I don't know that I'm rushing to the store to get any pair anytime soon, because I always thought that they might be comfortable, but they didn't look stylish to me. So not that I have to be the most stylish person in the world, but they weren't quite fitting into my mindset and all of that. But who knows? Maybe I've just got it all wrong. I did have another one of your guests on, and you introduced me, I think, to him. If not you, it was somebody in that same LinkedIn family. But I did have the coach on recently, and he was an amazing guest. So I had him on the podcast. He shared all kinds of great knowledge and was just a real fun guest to have on, and got to get him back on at some point or another, because he was just truly amazing and all of that. So
he's a kick in the pants. He's great. And he's actually going to be on my podcast as well. He's awesome. And so, we linked up recently and I've talked a couple times. So, it's super, super exciting. By the way, in the private chat, I stuck a link to my contact page, and you can go to that, Mark, and schedule a time anytime. And the podcast is recorded, so we can just record that. And then, then I produce those and air them. So that'd be great.
It sounds great. I look forward to it and everything. I know you probably got to get ready to bounce. I've only got a few more minutes, and I'll probably run some of the ads and everything about them. Great things happening on international broadcast media. Like I told Royce, and like I tell everybody, any words of encouragement and positivity, as we had a mad week last week, that you would like to share with folks as they contemplate what went on last week, and hopefully we're moving into a more sane time. But I'd love to hear any words of positivity that you want to share with our international global audience.
Yeah, I always have words of positivity. And today, let me tell you, it is a new year, and you need to cherish and take advantage of every moment that you are blessed with. And I tell you, no matter what is going on in our crazy world, does not mean you need to stop what you're doing. You can continue to move forward, continue to build good, positive momentum, and make great things happen in your little circle of influence, a little spot in the world. You can still be a bright, shining light. So today, get out there, make a difference. And we hope to see all of you guys soon back on the IBM TV or Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie, or The Experience live with Russ and Scott.
Sounds great, and I look forward to that. I know that there's going to be all kinds of amazing things. You just got all kinds of things happening on a regular basis. You're always doing some great things. And, of course, I still love the title of your book. We're all befuddled. We're all just constantly befuddled, and it's just an amazing concept.
Well, you know what? Thank you. And if you would like to pick that up, oops, I got a little thing in here. Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, available on Amazon by Russ Hedge. Would love to have you pick a copy of that up. Very encouraging book.
Yes, a very encouraging book, and definitely a positive message that we need to hear more of and everything, because a lot of us are walking around quite befuddled, and we just need to get out of that befuddled mindset and all of that. But you have gotten past the befuddled mindset and have definitely got some very positive messages. So we love that positivity that you are always sharing and always giving some great words of encouragement. So appreciate you popping in. Like I said, I'm going to put on a couple of our ads and everything, and then that should wrap everything up. But I definitely appreciate you having a chance to pop in and share your great spirit and your great positivity. You always do a great job, and I always enjoy when you come in and are able to share that extensive energy that you always give.
Well, thank you so much. Make sure and tell Dean hi for me, because we've been able to chat since your show as well. He's a great guy. So we'll see you. We'll see you next time.
Sounds great. Thank you. Appreciate you. So like I said, I'm going to bring up a couple of the ads of folks that have got other great shows here on the network. And like I said, we've got all kinds of amazing things that happen here on a regular basis. So I'm going to link up a couple of the shows that exist, including Wynn's show, which, by the way, I think this has the date that she's not on. But it's actually on Wednesdays, and I think this says on Mondays. But it's actually Wednesday is the day that she is on. But let's check out what she's all about in the meantime.
All of the past. Been down since I began to call. If it wasn't for that.
All right, folks. So we're going to try to bring you a little bit more information about things going on around the world. I do appreciate Russ popping in and sharing his opinion and all of that. He always got some energy and some things that are going on in his world. So definitely appreciate him and sharing his thoughts and things that he had going on where he was and all of that. So definitely appreciate the sharing things that are happening where he's at and what he's doing in his world. And I know a number of folks are definitely concerned about things that are that also. So that being said, it's like I'm on mute, and that's hold on, do not know why that is going on now. But as I was saying, a lot of things are going on in the world, and we know that a number of folks are paying attention to what's happening in the world. But let's see. And this is a show that I'm still looking forward to seeing whenever they get around to getting it on there. But popular, and I know a lot of folks are always interested in travel tips.
My name's Brandon. I'm a world traveler, foodie, and YouTuber. Together, you and I will find the best travel hacks, tips, and best places to explore. Join me as we find new adventures together, live only on IBM.TV.
See, that's what you get for paying attention. You have to pay attention going out there, boy. There's lots of guitar players out here. That's the truth. But they just play up. They play fast. They don't concentrate on no soul. But you got them both. Y'all ready? Everybody ready? Y'all ready? Everybody ready? Huh? All right. Two for nothing. 1, 2. 1, 2. Born on a bad side. Been down since I began to crawl. If it wasn't a bad luck, I was down, no luck at all. All luck and trouble is my only friend. Been on my own ever since I was 10.
Football season is here.
Football season is
So
here.
is the NFL
So is NFL
Network.
On YouTube TV.
On YouTube TV.
Skipping this ad will cost you key information on how I was able.
My whole life has been one big fight on the backside. Been down since I began to crawl. If it wasn't for bad luck, I was down, no luck at all.
Oh, well, folks, a little bit of taste of the blues for you. Just a little taste of it going on there. So hopefully folks were enjoying a little bit of those sounds that they were getting and all of that. So definitely, like I said, a taste of the blues and some great taste of the blues at that. So hope y'all were having a good time and checking out those sounds and all of that. So here's a little bit more to taste.
Wine and women is all I crave. A big red woman gonna carry me to my grave. Born on the bad side. Been down since I began to crawl. If it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have no luck at all. Well, I'm a bad luck boy. Been having bad luck all of my days.
Yes, some amazing music right there. There's no doubt about that. Some great sounds and all of that. So we were definitely checking that out and definitely enjoying what we were hearing. So definitely some great music, and I hope that everybody was having a good time hearing what they were listening to and all of that. So I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I was sitting over here tapping my toes and just grooving left and right. So like I said, I was definitely grooving to the sounds and enjoying the sounds that we were getting and all of that. So I hope everybody's having a good time and checking out those sounds, and definitely, you can't go wrong with some good old fashioned blues. And I gave y'all a dose of the blues big time. So definitely curious as to how folks are doing and all of that. So definitely things along that line. So I see that Dr. Anthony is actually asking about her show, which I thought was already on, and things of that nature. So let me see what's going on with her and what's happening in that regards. But in the meantime, I'm gonna put on some blues music and seeing what's happening here and everything. So like I said, I'm going to check on that, but get ready to give y'all a little bit more dose of some great sounds coming your way. So you're going to do that right now. And let's see, gave you Albert King, gave you some Bobby Hinton. How about we go with a little bit of the legendary B.B. King? You can't go wrong with B.B. King. So we're going to bring you up with some B.B. King music and also check and see what's going on with Dr. Anthony and what she's got going on in her world. So I think we're going to go with a little bit of The Thrill Is Gone and see what's happening in that regard. So we can give y'all a little dose of a long version of B.B. King and The Thrill Is Gone. So while that's getting queued up, I'll bring that up and everything, and then we'll give y'all a taste of BB King and The Thrill Is Gone. So I think that y'all will definitely enjoy that, and we'll definitely have some things along that line. All right, so there we go. And now we'll see if we can't bring up that BB King that I want y'all to hear and everything. So we're going to see if we can't get this thing rolling right along and give y'all a dose of BB King and what BB King is all about as well. So let's see if I can't find that BB King song for y'all. Looks like it was a classic BB King one. And of course, you cannot go wrong with BB King and things along that line. So let's see if I can't find the BB King one that I'm looking for, and then we'll bring that on and see what we got going on in that regard. So it's definitely, you can always get some good old-fashioned BB King music and all of that. So that being said, let's see what we got going on in this regard. And here we go. So add that, and hit this, and then we're going to just keep this thing rolling right on along. So let's see what we got going on here.
The thrill is gone. The thrill is gone away. Thrill is gone, baby. The thrill is gone away. Got me wrong, baby. You'll be sorry someday. Thrill is gone. The thrill is gone away from me. Thrill is gone, baby. The thrill is gone away from me. Still alone, but so lonely I'll be.
I've been quested to bring this one back to its kind.
All right, just a little taste of BB King and what BB King is all about. You cannot go wrong with the amazing music of BB King and all of that. So definitely, we're gonna keep this music rolling right along and let y'all hear a little bit more of the sounds of BB King and all of that. Just had to take a little bit of a break and let y'all know what y'all were listening to as we were rocking those songs. So, like I said, rocking those tunes and enjoying rocking those tunes and everything. But I'm going to bring a little bit back more of BB King and let y'all hear a little bit more of those sounds of that classic song and all of that. So just keep that in mind, and we're just going to keep this thing rolling right along on Mullings Music and Memories, because we do love having some great musical sounds.
The thrill is gone. The thrill is gone away. Thrill is gone, baby. The thrill is gone away. Got me wrong, baby. You'll be sorry someday. Thrill is gone. The thrill is gone away from me. Thrill is gone, baby. The thrill is gone away from me. Although I'm still alone, but so lonely I'll be. I'm free now, baby. I'm free from your spell. Free now, baby. I'm free from your spell. Now that it's all over, all I can do is wish you well. I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank these three young men sitting down front with me. They treat me so good, I begin to feel special. I said, they treat me so well, I feel special. Thank you. Thank you. God dog, go ahead. Boy, you should have played that. They like the lady say, you play that thing.
Yes, folks, that was some great, legendary music from the legendary B.B. King and many other great artists that were on that stage as well. So definitely some amazing music to end this edition of Mullins Music and Memories. And definitely I'll have some more thoughts for you, some more amazing guests on next week as well. Don't forget the online dinner party is coming your way on Wednesday, and we'll have some great thoughts and great guests on that show as well as at least two, maybe three mystery guests. Don't forget, one of them will be coming from the world of entertainment, and it's going to be a specialty act. So they will not be a musician or a singer, but who knows? Maybe it's a juggler, maybe it's a puppeteer, but it's going to be something that's special. So keep that in mind as you think of the clues and all of that. And of course, I'm going to bring you an international person, and I might even bring you a third special guest as well. And of course, I'm already lining up your guests in terms of your regular guests and the great conversations at the online dinner party coming your way on this coming Wednesday between the hours of 4 and 7. Once again, I want to thank Royce for joining us as well as Russ Hedge, and that's going to wrap up another edition of Mullins and Music and Memories. I've got to get ready to shift on over to Strictly Audio and get ready to do my other show, which is a Straight Talk with Dean and Marc. So we'll see what kind of guests we've got lined up for that show as well, and what we'll be talking about. I'm sure that the Dean will be excited that his team, the Baltimore Ravens, will be playing those Buffalo Bills, which is the team of my good friend Bill Tresvant. So we're going to see how that all plays out. But there's some other amazing games as well. And let's hope that my Marquette team, the Marquette Golden Eagles, get back on the winning track. They had a game won by massive amounts of points and let that other team come back and just basically beat them down. They were up by like about 18 points, and then it got reversed on them, and they lost by like 12 or something like that. Ironically, that's what they did to Georgetown earlier. But let's hope that they can get back on the winning track on this coming Tuesday. That's right. They've got a game coming up this coming Tuesday, is in tomorrow against Providence. And I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm hoping that they get back on the winning track. I need them to get back on the winning track and to do more of the winning kind of things. But that being said, I'm out of here. I hope that y'all have a great time, and I will catch y'all on the rebound. But in the meantime, we'll know that there's all kinds of great programming, including travel. I understand that Dr. Anthony may be having her show coming online as well. And of course, we've got Funk Music with Zach on Sunday. We've got Brandon with The Best of Travel and a number of other great shows coming your way as well. But right now, I'm out of here. Get ready to head into the world of audio podcasting. So I'll catch y'all on Wednesday at the online dinner party.